Welcome to the fourth season of Chat with the Chair. I'm your host, CFMA's 2023-24 chair, Kevin Foley. And as a former Jeopardy champion, this season's Chat with the Chair promises to be quite a ride as we are doing each episode in a Jeopardy format. In today's episode, I'm excited to welcome Sonya Bohmann, who is the new executive director of the Construction Industry Alliance for Suicide Prevention. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me today, Kevin. I am honored to be here.
Well, it's great to have you, and thank you so much for your work at CIASP. And so, as we know with the Jeopardy format, the board is yours. What would you like to select as your first category and amount?
I think I'll take work for 600, please.
Okay. And our answer is CFMA and Cal Buyer.
Oh, that's an easy one. How did I learn about CIASP?
Okay. So, I know Cal very well, and of course, I'm very familiar with CFMA. So, can you tell us how you came about learning about it?
Absolutely. So it must have been 3 years ago at the very beginning of COVID. I guess it's 3 now, right?
Okay.
I tuned into a webinar that Cal was hosting with the Philadelphia chapter of CFMA on mental health and wellness and suicide prevention. And I watched the entire episode. And at the very end, I wrote down on a Post-it note, I don't know if you can see that, but it says Cal Buyer on it and CFMA at the top. And on the back, it says Construction Industry Alliance for Suicide Prevention. And that Post-it note sat on my desk. And as I went about the job that I had with a reconstruction company in the Philadelphia area named Brandpoint Services, we grew. And as we were moving around the office and I changed spots there, that Post-it note stayed on my desk. And I happened to open up my LinkedIn in January of this year and saw the position for the Construction Industry Alliance for Suicide Prevention's executive director and thought, gosh, that seems like my dream job. And I took a chance and here I am. And I really do believe it is my dream job and that I get to live that opportunity. So I am thrilled to be here.
Well, that's great. And that's quite a story. So thank you so much for sharing it with us all, Sonya. And
My
as
pleasure.
you know, our game continues on. So what category and amount would you select next?
Let's see. How about they were right for 400?
Okay. Wow. You've got a video daily double.
All right.
So you've got 600, but can wager up to 1,000. What do you want to do?
Well, I think I'm going to go for it all. Go for broke. I'm going to take all 1,000, please.
So here we go.
Well, you know, everybody in Pennsylvania is known for the county that they come from. And I am a Delco girl. So I come from Delaware County, Pennsylvania. And I believe that that is the truck, the first truck that went to over 95 when it opened after the most recent repairs from the fire. Which, again, if you know anything about Pennsylvania, you all know, because our governor has talked about it, and as did everyone else around here, that the aggregate that filled in that hole came from Delaware County.
So how does that relate to them being right?
Well, I think that certainly you could use the analogy of never burning a bridge, right? Maybe it's a little too soon, but nonetheless, you know, certainly that truck rolled, a fire truck happened to roll over that bridge first after the fire and after the repairs were made. And I can relate it back to never burning a bridge, but really that aggregate that was used to fill that hole was made from broken glass that's tumbled into a shape that allows it to be sort of softer around those edges. And I think that in my career, I've been very lucky to have great mentors. And one of the things that they taught me is that you don't ever burn a bridge, and that, you know, every opportunity that is sort of sharp or rough around the edges can be rounded off and made something good out of it. And so I think that we always have the opportunity to look for the good in people and look for the ways that we can help and, you know, make good things out of bad, and not burn those bridges and keep those relationships going.
Okay, well, CFMA is very, very much about relationships. So
Absolutely.
that's a good thing. Certainly an unusual way for us to come about getting there, but I agree. It makes absolutely no sense to be burning bridges, and so that's certainly an interesting thing for us to be showing here on this for everyone around the country. And now, what would you like to
Hmm.
select for your final category?
Hmm. How about food fight for 1,000, please?
Okay, and the answer there is Tony Luke's.
Oh, well, clearly Tony Luke's is the best sandwich in Philadelphia.
Okay, so you prefer Tony Luke's cheesesteaks to any of the others?
Cheesesteaks. That is not the best sandwich in Philadelphia. It is a sandwich in Philadelphia, but if you want a real, perfectly authentic Philadelphia sandwich, you need the Tony Luke's chicken cutlet, broccoli rabe, and sharp provolone with long hots, of course.
Okay, I know that's a very, very Philadelphia sandwich, one that I've
It
never
is.
had. Um,
You're
so
kidding.
no, I've never ever had that. I'm not exactly a fan of adding the long hots to things. Um,
Okay.
I know a lot of people will throw peppers and long hots onto a lot of
Mm-hmm.
different things around here. I'm also not a fan of broccoli raw, but I know all those roasted pork sandwiches flying around the city are loaded up with broccoli raw too.
They
Um,
are indeed.
so you've actually had the opportunity to have a variety, and you've decided that we all need to know that that's the sandwich to get when you come to Philly.
That's the sandwich to get. Anybody can get a cheesesteak anywhere, but if you want authentic Philadelphia, you got to go to Tony Luke's for the chicken cutlet.
Okay, well, let's just say you're right for your own opinion. uh,
It might be unpopular, but I think it's worth a try.
maybe I will try the sandwich, although I doubt I would put the long hots on, but maybe I'd give it a shot. So um, I want to now bring you to Final Jeopardy. And in Final
Okay.
Jeopardy, now you have currently $2,600 if our math is correct.
Mm-hmm.
And our Final Jeopardy category is Stephanie Plum novels.
Ooh, some of my favorites.
Okay. So this ought to be directly in your wheelhouse.
I hope so.
So the answer is Grandma Mazer.
Who is Stephanie Plum's grandma and often accomplice in helping her do her bounty hunting?
Okay. So maybe you could tell our listeners a little bit about your love of the Stephanie Plum novels, particularly, and any of the other local authors you may have an interest in.
Absolutely. So Janet Ivanovich writes these Stephanie Plum novels. There are 29 of them. I have read all 29, and some of the sort of shoot off novels that go with them as well. They
Mm-hmm.
come out usually every November. And Stephanie Plum is a Trenton based bail bonds person. And she details her adventures of living in the burg, as she calls it. and looking for people that have skipped out on their bond. And she usually has grandma at her side and her companion Lulu. And they search to keep the streets of Trenton safe from people that have skipped out on their bail. Janet Ivanovich is a local author. I enjoy reading, especially in the summer when I have a little bit more time. I am a huge Jennifer Weiner, reader, as well as Elizabeth Gilbert, all about the Philadelphia or sort of tri-state authors for sure.
Well, this has been quite a display of interest for the Delaware Valley here, as we've covered the capital city closest to CFMA headquarters, with Trenton,
yes.
New Jersey, mentioning the Burg being Old Chambersburg, which kind of like South Philly was inhabited by Italian immigrants who put up a tremendous number of incredible restaurants in the area. So
absolutely.
Okay, so actually, I'll add in another question then, since we're talking about Philadelphia objects and maybe for argument with CFMA staff. There is a product produced by a company out of Trenton that people eat for breakfast, and it's made by the John Taylor Company. What is that product called?
Would that be a Taylor pork roll?
That is the correct answer. For people who try to call it Taylor ham, i.e. Kathy Wasner and anybody else from North Jersey, they are completely wrong. So you really aced this, Sonya.
Yes.
And I really appreciate the fact that you're providing leadership there at the Construction Industry Alliance for Suicide Prevention. And as I mentioned last month, I encourage you all to learn more about construction industry and suicide prevention by going to preventconstructionsuicide.com. And don't forget to tune in next month when we get the next chat with the chair, which will be appearing after our conference. You may see over on the side here the logo for the annual conference that will be beginning in a couple weeks here in Aurora, Colorado, and look forward to seeing people there. Thank you very much again, Sonya, for being part of this, and good luck with your new role.
Thank you so much for having me today, and thank you for CFMA's support for Construction Industry Alliance for Suicide Prevention.
Okay, well, thank you very much. You take care. Bye-bye.
Thanks.